Starting off sailing with a couple of boats. Not a mandatory open from under the gun 7-handed, but with not much 3-betting, a good hand to get in the waters with. 4-way to a low coordinated wet board with another Go Fish matching sailboat. Tempting to bet big with my set, but playing my range, I will rarely hit this board, mostly overpairs being my best hands. Simplifying my strategy, I would check all my hands here, being so multi-way. Checks through, and one of the best turn cards, it should be another 4, 7, or 3 of clubs. Got it? Draw again with an actual speedboat now. Time to bet, and I face a raise to 150 from Wick. Similar to the flop, tempting to raise, but I decide to protect my range again and keep his bluffs in. Trip 7s are somewhat likely, and I can go for the check raise on the river, but not on that one. Whitewater river rafting, just trying to hang on. One of the best hands I will have, and I make what I believe is the standard check call, taking off a bluff. Play your overall range versus play your exact hand. Deceptive versus candid. Sporadic versus predictable. Back-to-back strange straddle hands next, starting off with the 10-6 double suited on the button 6-handed. The cutoff raises to 40 after everyone limps before him. I would end up getting 7-1 playing an absolute position if everyone calls, which does happen, and a really good flop. For our trash, at least. We see a tiny $20 donk from a non-regular. Looks like a typical limit player, and the pre-flop raiser just calls. Not sure what exactly to do here. I want to utilize positional advantage, but I also want to deny equity and get value from worse. Just clicking buttons here, but I go for the call. See a decent turn again, giving us a gut shot. See a very similar action. Again, just clicking buttons, not sure what to do. I call, and we are now 3 ways to a flush completing river. I could be good, maybe facing this action, but I don't think this player realizes how much money is actually in the pot. So with the straight and flush blocker 10 of diamonds, I ship it in, getting a somewhat deliberated fold. Going to go over 3 players' exact hands here, where I straddle under the gun 6-handed to 20. I gave in to some peer pressure from Ryan, who appeared in person in an earlier episode. Ace-deuce suited is in a tricky spot, being deep stacked against me and Ryan, with a couple of shorty stacks, so I think I like a call better. JD, next act on the other hand, slam dunk shove. Even with 0 fold equity against Ryan, there is so much dead money in the pot, and the original raiser could isolate reopening the action, allowing JD to essentially triple up going against one opponent. So he needs 33% equity and easily has that. Good for me, 8-1, I call. The rest is up to the dealer. That'll do. J with the ace-2 suited, I like a check, a shove from JD, which is fine. I call, trying to keep worse hands like over pairs in behind me. The button, tiny bets from the last hand, calls, and now J with another tough decision, a hand that's going to be hard to navigate going forward against me because we're deep stacked. He has no real incentive to bluff since he has to beat the 2 all-ins anyways. Getting such a good price, I only like a call. Turn is now a decision I would like to focus on for myself. I almost certainly have the best hand, but am very likely against a flush draw from at least one of the all-in players. Because of that, I don't have to charge draws nearly as highly, as I'm giving a somewhat group sign-up discount. I bet 600, being a little less than half the pot, giving him better than 3-1, but he makes the dissonant fold, being less than 4-1 to hit, with no real implied odds and being out of position. I should have gone smaller, around 400, since I'm again not denying much equity at all. I take the pot this time, and another job well done by the dealer. Special thanks to Ryan for the $1,000 straddle idea. The first was a loss, then 9 straight wins, getting the monthly total up to almost 13K. And it's only half over. Spring is here, the sun is shining, the birds are chirping. Absolutely nothing can stop this hungry, hungry hippo from eating more and more tasty chips. Alrighty then. Online, here we come. PP Poker within a group, trying to continue the run good. Running a 3-street bluff with Jack 10, flopping a flush draw. I do like pre-flop, flop, and turn. I just questioned whether I should go for it on the river when the undercard paired. On a double paired board, would I bet with a queen, kings, or aces? I think so, having not been check raced up to this point, so I have to put in some bluffs to get pairs and better draws to fold, and this is one of the worst hands I would have here, but bluffs sometimes get called. When one fails, just got to get up and try again. Button limps, I bump it up with pocket 7s and get the big blind and play every hand button to call. A decent dry flop that should crush my range, so I would bet with most of it. 24 for 2/3 pot though I think was too big. Should have gone 18 for half. Both players call. Interesting, 3 on the turn, completing the rainbow as well. I heavily blocked the main straight draw and 7-6 that also got there. After I check and face a bet and a fold, not many bluffs at all in my spot. This one seems to perfectly fit the bill. Puts tremendous pressure on single top pairs that bet, blocks great hands like 7-6, and I have outs when called. The villain calls my bet. Seemed like a good idea at the time. I do like to play, but this looks stronger than even king-queen. So I give up on a blank river, see the ace-deuce for a wheel. More sets were on my radar and not that hand. Hey, 1 for 3 on bluffs ain't half bad. Hold them over. Till next time, stay active, happy, and most importantly, healthy.